Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, today it is Monday, the big day. I am calling it because we want to see if those orders are going to come to fruition today, where the state, Mr. Baloy, going to submit all of that. But before the submissions of these orders, remember that Judge Ratha gave all the lawyers a homework, basically to come and lecture him. Obviously, is trying to teach them how to make a court application, that you don't just come and talk about the recalling of people without following procedure, which I don't think that is Mr. Mnisi's intentions. Not that he did not know that there are processes that needs to be followed. I mean, hello, he's been a lawyer for how many years now? So of course he knows, and he's been a prosecutor before. Clearly he knows that I need to make a formal application in order to recall witnesses that have testified before. And I also saw the argument by some people in my comment section saying that, hey, listen, Pella, Mr. Mnisi needs to be seen as a new lawyer. And since he's a new lawyer, he should not be recalling of witnesses. As a matter of fact, he should be calling witnesses on behalf of Mr. Sbiya. Which is accused number one. What? I have something on my nose all this time? Okay. Anyways, he should be calling, not recalling any of the witnesses, because he's a new lawyer to accuse number one. And therefore, this should be seen as him just walking freshly into this matter, where he is representing Mr. Sibia, and therefore he should not be recalling. I understand that argument, but I don't know what the technicalities about that. But I would say my argument will be more on the trial within a trial. These people were already called by. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean, because it goes back to your suggestions, or at least saying that he's a new lawyer. He needs to call them himself, and also he needs to understand and hear from the state why Kelly Kumalo is not part of the list of witnesses that the state had prepared. I think there were 120 or 140. Basically, the entire police force was called on that stand, and the witnesses, especially the so-called mastermind, why she was never called as a witness, but instead only three eyewitnesses that were called. That was Zandile Kumalo. This is the so-called mastermind's sister. Why the mother was not called Madam Kumalo? Why wasn't Mapi recalled, the one that is accused of cleaning the crime scene? Also, what about the person that the first responders spoke to, which later on allegedly they said it was Kelly Kumalo's uncle, Temba Kumalo? So Mr. Mnisi has to iron all those out as a new lawyer and understand why Miss Kelly Kumalo is not called. Perhaps in his application, then he mentions the calling of Miss Kelly Kumalo. Now that has been pointed out as the mastermind. So this is quite interesting, and I am enjoying your comments, guys. It's just that I'm having issues, guys, with my comment section. And you who have been here since the beginning know that I love engaging you guys. I love engaging you. I even have a segment called, what was my segment called again? Please remind me what my segment was called again, because even that on its own, when I try to scroll, they freeze. So there's no point of me now creating those videos and reading out your comments on a video and then we engage on that. I don't know what's happening. I think my suspicion is that when I get a lot of comments coming very fast, for some reason it messes up with the technology. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but just know that I do read your comments and I love some of them, and some of them I learn a lot. And of course, we are going to have Enjumut. Okay, never mind. We'll leave those ones aside. And it's interesting what is going to be happening today in court. So, of course, these lawyers, including Mr. Baloy himself, will have to deliver his own understanding of what process must be followed when you recall a witness. And I did see some people showing me some case studies to look into that will actually that favors Mr. Mnisi, and most of them, they point to Section 35 of the Constitution, which is fairness to the accused. And if the accused wants to recall a witness that may have contradicted themselves or may have said untruths, then the accused has the right to recall that particular what do you call this, that particular witness. And I've seen case studies of State versus Shabir Sheikh. I've seen also other citations that were sent to me through your comments, and I was like, oh, okay, because I did look into them. I'm like, that's quite interesting. I just looked at the summary judgments. I did not go through pages and pages and pages. I just looked up for that part. So yeah, it looks like Mr. Mnisi is on a legal ground which favors him to recall the two individuals that he wants on the stand. That is Constable Zungu, yeah, bro, and also Mr. Buthelezi from the JMP, not JMPD, EMPD, who accompanied all these SAPS when they arrested and allegedly tortured and did all those things that accused number one accuses them of. And of course, there have been contradictions as well in the statement and testimony of Mr. Zungu, particularly his father Absalom, because there are some things that needs to be straightened out there. There are some things, and I also love the fact that Judge Ratha also wanted the AVL for, oh no, it wasn't Ratha, it was Mr. Mnisi, who wants the AVL of Zungu's vehicle on the 26th of October 2014, coming from work, went to Carlton Center, picked up a cousin, and then went to Fosloras, where he witnessed, so he says in his testimony, later on when they were coming back from the unaliving of Senzo Mewa and the way they were talking and all that stuff. And also, I would want to evoke Section 35 of the Constitution, which of course does also protects, I don't know which one weighs more weight between an accused's right to fair trial and the witness who also has a right not to incriminate themselves. Which one weighs more? Because I would want to know when you went and witnessed what you witnessed on the 26th of October 2026, why were you with criminals? And why were you quiet for 6 years? I would want to know those things. Because as a SCPS officer, it is your obligation to call up backup if you are seeing an illegal activity that is taking place by people you don't know, or some of them you know, but at the end of the day, you swore to the people of South Africa that you were going to protect and serve them. Basically, you had the duty to protect whoever that they came from in aliving from your own testimony, and called backup because there were illegal guns in your presence. And the fact that you also took a service pistol and handed it over to a civilian to look after it for you. I mean, which one weighs more weight? I just want to know, guys, which one weighs more weight? The incrimination, self-incrimination, right to not to incriminate yourself, or the right to a fair trial when it comes to this matter? I'm interested to hear from you if you know something about this. So, of course, now we want to see these AVLs once these lawyers are done with their presentations of the process to recall a witness. Of course, Ratha, I believe he has his own precedences. Is that right? Yeah, precedences, probably from the Supreme Court of Appeal. If it's not the Supreme Court of Appeal, it's going to be from a constitutional court judgment. If it's not from a constitutional court judgment, it's going to be from an apartheid judgment of 1901 or something. He's going to find something to try and crush Mr. Mnisi from recalling these two individuals. And then he will rule according to those precedences if he is persuaded to rule against Mr. Mnisi, which of course is going to find one that is going to do so against Mnisi. But at the same time, we'll see how it all turns out at the end of the day. And I am looking forward to the speed of light that the state was able to gather all this information. Because, from what I understand, in many cases, especially in a professional environment, you first send an email and then there will be some kind of a process that needs to take place before they release any information. And weekends, who is working? Because all government officials in most cases, especially in a setting like this one, that's overtime. Am I gonna get paid for my overtime type of situation? So that is what I felt, that if I was Mr. Baloy, after having that order thrown at me, I would have asked for a 1 month postponement, because of these processes, internal processes that will first have to be followed before they are releasing all of these orders into the possession of the state type of situation. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all, but it sounds like that's what should happen anyway. Somebody needs to be held accountable for things. And for that to be done, there are processes internally that needs to take place. Also, the calling of the AVL expert, I think he should come back to court, because there are some discrepancies that have been found out from some people. And my biggest worry about AVLs is the credibility, because a lot of people who are experts, they say you can manipulate this. So how authentic will they be? Is that the reason why they will be gotten like that over a weekend period instead of a month? What processes are they going to shortcut in order to get all of that information? Guys, I don't know. That is just my thoughts and my predictions of what's going to happen today. And I think Mr. Baloy might not have all of them. He might actually ask for this part to be parked while he's able to gather all this information, probably because he may have heard some of us say, the time frame is too short when you'll be ready on Monday. You get an order on Friday, and when on Monday you come with all the stuff that you've been... doesn't make sense to some of us. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. Maybe they'll park this part while they gather this information. Maybe we'll get to hear about it probably 2-3 weeks down the line. I don't know. We'll hear later today what is going to happen. Please let me know what your thoughts are. Rub your own two IQs together and let's see and compare notes and see what happens at the end of the day today. I am not hopeful. I don't want to lie. I'm not hopeful at all. Hopeful at all. And I think Judge Ratha will crush Mr. Mnisi's recalling of these two witnesses. And we already see the angle that Mr. Mnisi is taking with these two witnesses that have testified before. Yeah, it's early in the morning, guys. My brain. Other than that, guys, yeah, let's leave it right here and let's see what happens later today. Yeah, keep them coming and let's continue listening and let's enjoy this movie that this case has become. Unfortunately, it has become a movie. We have a state that has no case but flogging a dead horse that was buried a long time ago. Skeletons today. But hey, Judge Ratha's courtroom, yeah, let me not say it's a joke. Yeah. Guys, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.